Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Claim What's Yours. Today I'd like to talk to you about power surge and how it affects your short-term commercial or personal insurance policy. So recently one of the leading insurers in our market has sent out notification that they require the insured, the property owner, to install SANS approved power surge equipment into the main distribution board into their property, the commercial property. So into each distribution board, main board into the property. In the event that the insurer does not comply with the insurer's requirements, the insurance company will no longer consider any power surge related claims. So that's quite difficult because everything today is just about electronically controlled, whether it's laptops, CCTVs, alarm systems. Anything that's electronic would be then subject to a power surge. Would also involve buildings, gates, motors, your solar system, could involve machinery into your factory. So the insurance company is quite specific. They're saying we want a surge arrestor or power surge equipment which qualifies or is compliant with SANS 10142. Happy to go and look that up. Just type the number into the internet, SANS 10142, and that'll give you the regulation. Your electrician should know exactly what that is. So if you're going to get it installed, the electrician will be able to let you know what you need to do to comply with the regulation. So it can affect companies and businesses. Companies, as we said, highly expensive machinery, cutting machinery. Everything's electronically controlled today, just about, including commercial premises and also your house. So the insurance company, one of the leading insurers, have said, if you do not install SANS 10142 approved power surge equipment in the main distribution board into our client's commercial premises, there will no longer be power surge cover. So how do we do that? You get it installed. You've got to get an electrician to come in and install it into the main board, and then to issue you with a fresh electrical certificate of compliance. Why a fresh one or not an addendum to it? So I'm sure the electrical contractors will be able to give you more guidance on this and how they need to do it. Our understanding is you need to issue a new certificate because there has been a change in the electrical reticulation. The insurer wanted in the main board, not necessarily on the machine. So if you've got one on the machine, that's not what they're asking for. They want it to be done in the main board. You can have one on the machine as well, but they're saying, not in the main board, we're not interested, we're not going to give you the cover. So in addition to that, how do you also buy the cover? So a lot of those covers are being withdrawn by the insurers, or the limits that they offer now on commercial and personal policies, they're reducing the limits that you have available. So a lot of insurers used to give you 50,000 Rand automatically. Now a lot of insurers are scaling that back and say, look, we're going to give you 10,000 Rands worth of cover, subject to an excess. And if you want more cover, you've got to buy the cover, provided you have the distribution board protected by a power surge or an approved power surge item, so a circuit breaker. So just to give you an example of what some of the leading insurers are doing in the market, some of the insurers have reduced the cover, as I said, down to a minimal amount. If you want more cover, you buy the cover under accidental damage, and you would pay a rate percent for it. So if you wanted 100,000 Rand applicable to your commercial building, 100,000 Rands worth of power surge cover, 100,000 Rand would cost you 2,000 Rand a year. If you wanted 500,000 Rands worth of cover for very sensitive equipment, then it would cost you 10,000 Rand a year. The same would apply on your personal policy. So in addition to, let's just go back to the commercial before we go on to the personal. So on the commercial, we have got some insurers that say that if you do not install surge arresting equipment in the distribution board, this insurer is saying, we'll pay a claim, but we're going to ask you to be a co-insurer with us, and you're going to pay 35% of every claim. So we're going to put our limit in of 50 grand, so we give you 50 grand anyhow. This is opposed to the other insurers only giving you 10. So we're going to give you 50. In the event that there's a claim, and you can't show us on an electrical compliance certificate that you've had surge arrestor installed in the main board into the property, we're going to say to you, we're going to pay the claim, but we're going to maximum 50 grand for the damages. Irrespective of the damages, you are a co-insurer for 35% of the claim. So say you have a 20,000 rand claim, you would be in for 7,000 rand of that claim, and the insurance company would pay the less. So it may be in your interest to do it. If you have more expensive equipment and you've bought extra cover, the same proportion of co-insurance would apply. So we're in the process now of going through correspondence from the various short-term insurers that we deal with in the market to see what their provisions are, whether they will give you cover if you got power surge and you don't have an approved surge arrestor installed in the board, as one insurer does, or whether they're going to exclude the cover completely and insist that you show them at the time of a claim that you have got a surge arrestor installed into the main board into your house. So we'll get back to you on that with some details a little bit later. We encourage you as a client, as a homeowner, or as a tenant in a property, because remember, surge doesn't only affect the property owner's goods, it could also affect your stuff, could affect your fridge, could affect your TV. So in terms of your personal policy, you need to make sure that you've got the covers correct. And as I said, we'll get back to you and give you some more information on that. And let me see, yeah, train of thought's gone, but anyhow, so we'll come back and give you a further video on that to put you in a position to allow you to know what you need to do to be successful in a claim. So those guys who deal with the insurance market directly, we encourage you to either visit your policy wording or to have a chat with your insurer and say, what are the provisions that you need me to comply with to have a claim paid? And if I don't have a surge arrestor in my board,